Welcome back to Afternoon Live. Our next guest is an Oregon Book Awards winner, and her newest middle grade release is a thought-provoking read that touches on intergenerational dynamics in Japanese folklore. We welcome back educator and author of the soon-to-be-released Rick Kotani's $400 million summer, Waka Brown. Thanks so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
It's nice to see you and celebrate book number 5.
Yes.
How does that feel to say?
It feels a little, yeah, it's been a busy few years from not publishing anything to getting 5 books published since 2021.
That's pretty incredible. So tell me about this story. It sounds like such a fun adventure.
So Rick Kotani's $400 million summer it is about a boy who is obsessed with baseball, and he has a special pitch that he calls his own. It's a slider and a curve mixed together, and he thinks it's going to land him a $400 million MLB contract one day. And he's all set for a summer baseball season, and those plans go to the wayside when his mom gets a call and they have to head up to the Oregon coast to help his grandpa.
Okay.
And so during the summer, he and his grandpa bond over a Japanese folk tale, and they also kind of work through where they should put their priorities, and so that's kind of where the $400 million summer line comes from.
That's very sweet. Well, I think a lot of families maybe can relate to that story a bit, right? You've got these big dreams as a kid, but then the reality of life sets in, and often we do have to take care of our families and make certain sacrifices for that.
Right, and it's all about where do you put your priorities? Do you put your priorities in like fame and fortune, or is there something else that's worth more and priceless?
Sure. So. Tell me about the folklore that's kind of woven in throughout this. It's a really fascinating story.
So the Japanese folk tale is called Urashima Taro, and I've always kind of thought it was like the Japanese version of Rip Van Winkle.
Okay.
So Urashima Taro is this fisherman, and he supports his family that way, and one day he sees some boys teasing a turtle, and he saves the turtle and lets it go in the ocean, and the turtle is grateful. And then one day, Urashima Taro goes fishing even when the weather is not looking so great, and he gets caught up in a storm, and this turtle now saves him.
Wow.
And takes him down to basically this underwater kingdom where they make him a prince, and he lives there for 3 years. And he starts missing his family, and so he says to the princess that he's married, "I want to go back home." And so she says, "Okay, but don't open this box. I'm going to give you this box," which I always thought was curious.
Aww.
She goes, "If you want to return, don't open this box."
Okay.
And so he returns home, and everything looks different. He's like, "I know this is home, but everything feels really different." And then he talks to someone, and they're like, "Oh, Urashima Taro's home? Oh, that guy disappeared hundreds of years ago."
Oh, wow.
And so then he realizes it hadn't been 3 years, it was 300 years. And so I won't give away the ending, but that's basically the gist of the folk tale.
That is so cool. Well, tell me about putting that all together in this book with kind of this tween boy having his own storyline. How did you decide, I'm going to put all these pieces together and tell this story?
Well, yeah, there are different storylines in this book that are all woven together. And for me, like, every story is different depending on who reads it. And so for the Urashima Taro story, I thought to myself, it's about a man who gets kind of caught up in this underwater kingdom. He's a prince, they treat him like royalty, and for a while he's forgotten about his family at home. And so for Rick Kotani, he he's kind of caught up in this idea of his $400 million MLB contract. And when he comes up to the Oregon coast, he gets involved with this win-at-all-costs baseball team. And he loves it because it's like they're given free reign to score as many runs as they want, to mercy rule the other team. And he gets kind of a kick out of that. And so, but of course, like he starts to think, is this where my priorities should be? And so that's kind of woven in with his tale. He's at the underwater kingdom of baseball, basically. And, it's great, but is it really good?
That's so cool how you were able to put those things together and draw those analogies. What's it like for you approaching a project like this versus last time that we were talking about your first picture book? How did the experience differ?
This one was a lot harder because it had a lot of storylines that I had to weave together. And Perfect was really nice because in some sense it's just like a little scene, a little slice of life.
Yeah.
And some people have mentioned that picture books are almost like poetry. It's almost like one poem capturing a moment, capturing a lesson. And definitely for middle grade books, it's a lot longer, and this one was a little bit more complex because of the weaving of storylines.
That's so much work. I know you're so busy. Do you have plans for more?
So I'm currently in the what they call the filling the well stage.
Good. I'm so glad to hear that.
So I am reading a lot of books. I'm taking some time to just kind of unwind. I'm enjoying other people's writing. And so it's pretty necessary.
You've accomplished quite a bit in a very short amount of time, and I really appreciate you coming by to share with us. It was so nice to see you.
Nice to see you too.
Okay.
Thanks for having me.
Of course. So Waka has a dual book reading with author Rose Anpari, who also has a new book. The event is this Thursday at 7 p.m. at Annie Bloom's Books on Southwest Capitol Highway. Waka's book again is Kotani's $400 Million Summer, which is available for pre-order right now. We'll have more information, including the book event details, all on our website at katu.com. We'll be right back with more Afternoon Live right after this.